Hello, it's Akujumbi. First of all, I want to thank all of my subscribers and all the people that leave comments on my speed paints and follow me also on my other social media. I really love painting and I also really love painting for y'all. I would be a liar if I said I don't care. So I was asked on a tutorial about my painting technique, so I am going to explain today a couple of basics I am working with. Here you can see some of my older art. Every single piece is painted the same way. I am working with Photoshop, using for most just one or two layers and one of the default hard round brushes. And since I am actually a very bad painter, yeah, I never use outlines but start with a very rough base and without outlines, and I just slowly shape everything, adding details. So I know myself that painting requires time. Getting a feeling for the pen and tablet needs time, and I am painting digitally now for around 4 years. Started basically from zero knowledge, and as I started, I first had a normal Wacom tablet and later switched to a Wacom Cintiq Pro. This is a monitor tablet on which I can directly paint, but let's be honest, it doesn't feel in the beginning like paper at all. It's painful. So normally I need around 12 to 15 hours for a complex and detailed painting. And I want to be honest, I paint a lot by intuition, and since I'm not a professional but see painting rather as a hobby, um, I guess my technique is very, very simple. Um, I want to emphasize one thing. Normally, I'm not having a perfect vision about how a picture should look for the final version. So mostly it's vague thoughts of what I want, and when I just think it's done, I get back to it and tell myself to work a bit more, just checking if face look just a little bit more harmonic. Yet it looks super rough. So it really requires patience, and your eyes must get used to proportions, colors, and shapes, and to how blend with the brush, and that needs time. So mostly, I think it would need like a couple of months or years. At least it took me so long, and I'm really not a great talent. I came a long, long way. Yeah, I found out a couple of basics that are quite helpful, and let's share them with you. So, one of the basics is the canvas size. When zooming in to 100%, you can see the picture is really large. Like this is 100. There are two main reasons why to paint on a big canvas. One, you can add a lot of details which look very sharp when zooming out. And second, even if you aren't absolutely precise, little errors of strokes won't be visible. So you are basically creating your own camouflage. As you can see here, this is quite roughly painted, in fact, but when you zoom out, it looks good. It looks like it's smooth, it's like airbrushed. So normally I am painting on that kind of size, and while painting I can still enlarge or crop the picture if I think it's necessary. Another basic, and it's the most crucial for me, is the brush. Took me really a long time until I found the brush that suits my style best. So this particular brush has no tip at the end, but is round. In some cases, when just minimizing the brush doesn't work, I switch to the tip-shaped brush, but normally I can't even do it without. It would look like that. Like that. Okay, so you get a feeling how it works. Or for example, for the eyebrows, kind of like that. So the next thing is the layers. So maybe you're curious why just using one layer, because everyone seems to use a lot of layers. But one reason, I am really lazy, and switching between 10 layers or more is just really tiresome. I don't want to search for the mouth or for the ear or for the eyebrow or for the hair layer. It's really time consuming, and so I think I have more control over the whole painting. When I think something isn't right, I just overpaint it, like you saw with the hair, or I'm just erasing the outer edges. I can do it like that. This, of course, just works on the very outer edges of the picture. When I want to erase something here, I just have to overpaint it, picking the right color, making it smaller, like that. Can make the nose smaller by just overpainting. It works like that. Or the chin, for example. If I want it smaller, I overpaint it. I enlarge it by overpainting. This is how it works. Now it looks a little bit strange. Okay. But of course, I'm not painting constantly on one layer from the beginning on. So I show you my layer window. Sometimes I paint for like an hour, just finding out that the refinement on which I have worked just made everything worse. So I am creating a copy of my current stage layer. Let's go to the first stage. This is the background. So this is the first stage. So I'm creating a copy of my current stage layer and continue painting on the copy, or I create a layer on top, paint on, merge down, create another copy, and so on. So it looks like that. Next stage, next stage, next stage, and so on until it slowly gets better. It looks worse. It looks really bad right now. That here you can see some color change. I have used a brightness contrast layer to make the colors just a little bit deeper, like that. And it goes on and on. Here already the hand is painted, and everything is on one layer. So until the final picture is done, it happens that I have like 30 or more copies, which are just stages of the picture. A copy is always my insurance in case I painted something wrong, so I can just go back to the stage before. It's really helpful. And another reason why I'm just painting on one layer is the Liquify tool in Photoshop. I don't know if other programs also have it. Maybe it's called Warp Tool or something like that. But Liquify is really my guardian angel. So, as I said, I am not a great painter, not at all. It happens so often that the eyes are off, the nose is too small or too big, the proportions are just strange. So I used the Liquify tool to help me getting the proportions right. I can either drag certain parts around or enlarge them or make them smaller. So let's check it out. So here's my Liquify tool. So this is the minimizing tool. So I can minimize the eyes like this. Can make the nose smaller, like that. Or I can just drag certain parts around. For example, I want him to have more lazy eyes, so I can just drag it down like that. But of course you have to be precise even with doing so. So I need to minimize it a little bit. You want the strange nose for him. Or he should smile. Although as I'm always painting smiles. This is not what I'm using when painting smiles. But we can do it. This is the Joker. Okay, yeah, we did it. This is the power of Liquify. You can just use the Liquify tool to make your pictures prettier. Okay, let's go back. But of course, even if you have the Liquify tool, there must be already something painted to use the tool. You can't drag around a white canvas. So next thing is the overview of the picture. To have an overview of the painting, you have several options. In Photoshop, there is the so-called navigator. Here it is. This is a little window of your canvas, but when I want to just see the face, I open a second window of my file, which I then drag to my tablet monitor and always take a look when painting on the facial features. And you can find it here. Arrange and new window. Let's close this, open this. You maybe saw it in my speed paints. I always have a little window of the face to just check. And then I can minimize that window to see just the face or which part I want to see. It's really helpful. So on this window I can constantly check if everything is correct or if I just did something wrong. So when I'm painting here, something black, it also appears here on my little window. And my ultimate tip to check on proportions is your phone. After a couple of hours of painting, and after I also took a break from seeing the pig on the screen here just in front of my eyes, I upload it to my phone. So you can send it to your mail or just and then download it or just upload it to some storage, and then you can look at the pic and on the small screen of your phone. You're gonna be surprised how easy it's then to find proportion errors or color errors. And by the way, when you did the colors right, you can apply filters, which every phone should have, or look at it upside down. When it still looks good, you did a really good job on the colors. So let's take a look if the picture still looks good when upside down. Yeah, I think it does. So this is something you can do to check on the colors. Yeah, it does look good. I hope so. So in case you don't have a navigator, you can't create a new window and so on to check on the proportions. Just zoom the picture out. This is also helpful. You can zoom out and then you can see if it's fine. If, for example, the hand is too small or too big, if the eyes are too big or too small, and so on. This picture isn't perfect, of course, but yeah. And the last and final thing to check for proportions is I'm shuddering, flipping the canvas horizontally. Oh my gosh, I hate it. So, mostly my pictures look really horrible when mirrored. To be honest, I'm right now really hesitating if to show the mirrored version because this picture is really not perfect. But okay, let's try it. Oh, damn, there is something off with the eye I couldn't get rid of. So yeah, I'm just flipping it back because it looks better that way. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the flipping the canvas is an adventure each time. So, okay, one more last thing that helps me with the workflow is short keys for a couple of tools. Like you maybe realize that I'm not always hitting the buttons here like this one or the eraser and so on. I have short keys on my keyboard. So I'm having a short key for the color picker, flipping canvas, undo, enlarging and minimizing the brush. And my pen has a key which I use to go back to pen, and I have an integrated eraser on the other end of my pen, so I don't have to always go and hit the buttons in the program. It's immensely time saving. I think in Photoshop it's here. I've done it just once. Here, keyboard shortcuts, something like that. I don't know exactly how it's done because it's really a couple of years ago when I've done it. You can just search it, Google it, and then you find out how to do it. But it's really helpful. So I just hit my keys and I can enlarge the brush like that. Maybe you can also hear how I'm hitting the keys. It's like that. Then I hit the key for color picker. Then I can hit the key for brush. And it really is helping me, especially when I'm painting um, little things and I need my brush to get smaller very in a fast way. So let's take this. So for example, like that. And in the middle, I am hitting the key to make it smaller or to make it larger. Beautiful. If you have the chance in your program, have some of it, you should give it a try. It's really helpful. As final words of this probably too long and very unprofessional tutorial, I want to say that my technique is just one of, I guess, 8,000. I just found out this one is suiting best. For me, when painting or starting to paint, you should find out what works best for you. Of course, it's fine using outlines or a lot of layers when it helps you to get the results you want to achieve. Certainly nothing wrong with that. Also, don't grumble when not everything works for the first try. I still often struggle so much with colors, with faces. It's horrible. You can't believe. It's constant learning. And I guess I'm gonna go deeper into actual painting in a second part of this tutorial by showing how to get the texture in the skin because I already heard a lot about it. People asked me about the colors and how it's done, at least how I'm doing it. And finally, you heard it. I am not a native English speaking person and really far from being professional in any kind of ways, so I'm just apologizing for any language errors or other strange things during this video. So, thank you a lot for your patience with me, and if there are more questions, you can always ask. I try my best to answer as soon as possible. So, thank you. You're always bowing Akujumbi.